Right now, someone is lying to you, and you have no idea. Your boss, your partner, your closest friend. They smile, they nod, they say all the right things. But behind those words, there's something else. Something they're hiding. What if I told you there's a way to see through the mask? To read people like an open book, instantly, without them ever knowing. For centuries, this knowledge was reserved for spies, interrogators, and the most powerful rulers in history. Men like Machiavelli didn't just understand politics. They understood people. They could walk into a room and within seconds know who was loyal, who was lying, and who was about to betray them. Today, I'm going to teach you their secrets. 7 dark psychology techniques that will change how you see everyone around you. By the end of this video, you'll never look at another person the same way again. Section 2. Why most people are blind. Here's a disturbing truth. You've been lied to thousands of times in your life, and you believed almost every single lie. Studies show that the average person is lied to between 10 and 200 times per day. But here's what's worse. Most people can only detect lies about 54% of the time. That's barely better than flipping a coin. Why are we so blind? Because we're taught to listen to words. We focus on what people say instead of how they say it. We trust smiles. We believe promises. We take people at face value. And manipulators know this. They exploit it every single day. Think about it. Have you ever been blindsided by betrayal? A friend who turned on you. A partner who cheated. A colleague who stabbed you in the back. And afterwards, you looked back and thought, how did I not see this coming? The signs were there. They're always there. You just didn't know how to read them. The ancient Stoics believed that the key to wisdom was seeing reality as it truly is, not as we wish it to be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." But what if you could see the truth? What if you could look at any person, stranger, friend, or enemy, and know exactly what they're thinking, feeling, and hiding? That's what I'm about to teach you. Section 3. Technique 1. The eyes never lie. The first technique is the most powerful. Read the eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul, but not in the way you think. It's not about eye contact. It's about eye movement. When someone is recalling a real memory, their eyes move in a specific direction. When they're constructing a lie, creating something that never happened, their eyes move differently. Here's how it works. When a right-handed person looks up and to their left, they're accessing visual memory. They're remembering something they actually saw. When they look up and to their right, they're constructing an image. They're creating something, potentially a lie. This is called eye-accessing cues, and it's used by FBI interrogators to detect deception. But there's more. Watch for the frozen face. When someone is lying, they often reduce their facial movements. They become still, controlled. Their face becomes a mask because they're concentrating so hard on the lie that they forget to act natural. Also watch for the eye block. When we hear something we don't like, or when we're hiding something, we unconsciously try to block it out. We might close our eyes slightly longer than normal. We might look away at a crucial moment. We might rub our eyes. These micro-expressions happen in less than a second. But once you know what to look for, you'll see them everywhere. Here's a test. The next time someone tells you a story, watch their eyes. Are they accessing memories or constructing fiction? The truth is written in their gaze, if you know how to read it. Section 4. Technique. 2. The body betrays the mind. The second technique. Read the body. Words can lie. The body cannot. This is because most body language is controlled by the limbic system, the ancient part of our brain that evolved millions of years before language. It reacts automatically, unconsciously, honestly. Let me teach you what to look for. Feet, the most honest part of the body. We consciously control our face and hands, but we forget about our feet. If someone's feet are pointed toward the door while they're talking to you, they want to leave, no matter what their mouth is saying. If their feet are pointed toward you, they're engaged. Torso. We instinctively protect our vital organs. When someone feels threatened or uncomfortable, they'll create barriers. Crossed arms, a bag held in front of the body, turning slightly away. These are all unconscious shields. Hands, hidden hands signal hidden intentions. When someone puts their hands in their pockets, behind their back, or under the table while talking to you, be alert. Open palms, on the other hand, signal honesty and openness. Shoulders. Confident people take up space. Their shoulders are back. Their chest is open. Deceptive or nervous people make themselves smaller. They hunch. They shrink. Here's the key. Look for clusters, not single signals. One crossed arm might mean the person is cold. But crossed arms, plus avoiding eye contact, plus feet pointed away, that's a cluster. That tells a story. The FBI calls this baselining. First, observe how someone normally behaves when relaxed. Then, watch for deviations when stress increases. The bigger the deviation from their baseline, the more significant the signal. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. But with this knowledge, you become one of the few." Section 5. Technique. 3. The voice reveals all. The third technique. Read the voice. The human voice contains layers of information that most people completely ignore. But once you tune in, you'll hear the truth behind every word. Pitch. When we're stressed or lying, our vocal cords tighten. This causes our pitch to rise slightly. If someone's voice suddenly goes higher during a specific topic, pay attention. Speed. Liars often speed up. They want to get through the lie quickly, almost rushing past it. But some sophisticated liars do the opposite. They slow down dramatically, choosing each word carefully. Both are deviations from normal speech patterns. Volume. Watch for sudden drops in volume when someone reaches the deceptive part of their story. It's as if they're unconsciously trying to minimize the lie by making it smaller, quieter. Pause patterns. Honest people pause before difficult questions because they're searching their memory. Liars often pause after the question because they're constructing their answer. They're not remembering, they're creating. Throat clearing and swallowing. The autonomic nervous system reduces saliva production under stress. That's why nervous people constantly clear their throats or swallow hard. It's their body responding to the stress of deception. Speech errors. Basically. These fillers increase when someone is being deceptive. Their brain is working overtime to construct the lie, leaving fewer resources for smooth speech. Here's something powerful. The voice doesn't just reveal lies. It reveals emotions the person is trying to hide. Anger, they're suppressing. Fear, they're masking. Attraction, they're denying. The voice leaks what the face conceals. Start listening, really listening, to how people speak, not just what they say. The truth is in the tone. Section 6. Technique 4. Micro-expressions. The fourth technique is perhaps the most fascinating. Micro-expressions. In the 1960s, psychologist Paul Ekman discovered something remarkable. No matter where you go in the world, from New York to the Amazon jungle, humans display the same 7 universal emotions on their faces, in exactly the same way. Happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, disgust, contempt. These expressions are hardwired into our DNA. We can't control them. And here's the key. When we try to hide an emotion, it still flashes across our face, but only for a fraction of a second. These are micro-expressions. A micro-expression lasts between 1/25th and 1/5 of a second. Most people never see them consciously. But with training, you can learn to catch them. Let me teach you the most important ones. Contempt, the only asymmetrical expression. One corner of the mouth rises slightly, while the other stays neutral. This is the most dangerous expression to see on someone's face when they're supposed to be on your side. It means they feel superior to you. They don't respect you. Fear. The eyebrows pull together and up. The eyes widen. The lips stretch horizontally. If you see this flash across someone's face when they're lying to you, they're afraid of being caught. Disgust. The nose wrinkles. The upper lip rises. If someone shows disgust while claiming to like something or someone, their true feelings just leaked. The TV show Lie to Me was based on Ekman's research. But this isn't fiction. It's science used by intelligence agencies worldwide. Here's how to practice. Watch interviews with politicians or celebrities who you later learned were lying. Slow down the footage. Watch their faces frame by frame. You'll start seeing the micro-expressions they couldn't hide. Once you can read these split-second signals, you'll see through masks that fool everyone else. Section 7. Technique 5. The power of silence. The fifth technique is counterintuitive. Use silence as a weapon. Most people are terrified of silence. They rush to fill it. They babble. They reveal. But the person who controls the silence controls the conversation. Here's why this works. Human beings are hardwired to fill social silence. It creates psychological discomfort. When you stay silent after someone finishes speaking, even just for 3 or 4 seconds longer than normal, something remarkable happens. They keep talking, and the more they talk, the more they reveal. FBI negotiators call this tactical silence. After a suspect finishes their statement, the interrogator simply waits, doesn't respond, doesn't nod, just waits. And almost always the suspect continues, often revealing information they never intended to share. You can use this in everyday life. Ask someone a question. When they answer, don't immediately respond. Just maintain eye contact and wait. They will almost always elaborate, clarify, or, if they were lying, start to stumble. Silence also reveals character. Watch how people behave in silence. Do they get nervous? Do they try to fill it desperately? Or are they comfortable with it? People who are comfortable with silence are usually confident and self-assured. People who can't tolerate it often have something to hide, or are easily manipulated. As Machiavelli wrote, Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. And sometimes, the greatest deception is simply saying nothing at all. Master silence, and you master the conversation. Section 8. Technique 6. Baseline disruption. The sixth technique, baseline disruption. I mentioned baselining earlier, observing someone's normal behavior so you can spot deviations. But there's an advanced version of this technique, deliberately disrupting someone's baseline to reveal their true nature. Here's how it works. When people are relaxed and in their comfort zone, they show you their mask, their rehearsed personality, their public self. But when something unexpected happens, when their baseline is disrupted, the mask slips. You see the real person underneath. Skilled interrogators do this constantly. They'll ask routine questions, then suddenly insert an unexpected or uncomfortable one. The suspect's reaction in that split second, before they can compose themselves, reveals the truth. You can do this too. During a normal conversation, ask an unexpected question. Not aggressive, just surprising. Something they couldn't have prepared for, or break social conventions slightly. If you're shaking hands, hold it just a second longer than normal. Watch their reaction. Or make a statement that you know is false, and watch their face. Do they correct you? Do they stay silent? Do they show contempt? These disruptions create momentary windows where the real person is visible. Here's another technique. Change the environment. People who are comfortable lying in one setting may become uncomfortable in another. That's why police bring suspects to the station. The unfamiliar environment disrupts their baseline and makes deception harder. Remember, the best predictor of how someone will behave under pressure is how they react to small, unexpected pressures. Test people in small ways, and you'll know who they are before the stakes get high. Section 9. Technique 7. The question behind the question. The seventh and final technique. Hear the question behind the question. Every question has two layers. There's what the person is asking, and then there's what they really want to know. Master readers of people don't just hear words. They hear intentions. Let me give you examples. When someone asks, "How much did you pay for that?" they're not just curious about the price. They're assessing your status, your decision-making, possibly comparing themselves to you. When a partner asks, "Where were you?" they may already know where you were. What they're really asking is, "Are you going to lie to me?" When someone at work asks, "How's that project going?" they might really be asking, "Have you failed yet?" Or, "Can I take credit if it succeeds?" The question behind the question reveals what people really care about. And once you can hear it, you can respond to their true concern instead of their surface question. Here's how to develop this skill. When someone asks you a question, pause before answering. Ask yourself, why are they asking this? What would they gain from different answers? What are they hoping I'll say? This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being perceptive. Also, pay attention to when people ask questions. The timing often matters more than the words. A question asked at a strategic moment, right after you mention something specific, is rarely random. And notice which questions they don't ask. Sometimes what people avoid asking reveals more than what they do ask. Machiavelli was a master of this. He wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, and few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. But with this technique, you become one of the few who truly knows. Section 10. Conclusion. The power is now yours. Let me leave you with this. The knowledge I've shared today is powerful. It's been used by rulers, spies, and master manipulators throughout history. It can protect you. It can advance you. It can give you an advantage that most people will never have. But with this power comes responsibility. Once you start seeing through people, you can't unsee. You'll notice the lies your friends tell, the insecurities your colleagues hide, the fears your loved ones mask. Use this knowledge wisely. Use it to protect yourself from manipulation, to make better decisions about who to trust, to understand people more deeply, not just to exploit them, but to connect with them on a real level. Because here's the final truth. The greatest power isn't in reading others. It's in understanding yourself. As you practice these techniques, you'll start noticing your own micro-expressions, your own eye movements, your own vocal patterns. You'll see your own masks, and that self-awareness, that brutal honesty about who you really are, is the foundation of true power. The Greek oracle at Delphi had just 2 words carved above its entrance: know thyself. Now you have the tools. If this video gave you value, subscribe to this channel. Because next week, I'm going to teach you something even more dangerous. How to make anyone trust you instantly. The dark psychology of influence. Until then, remember, in a world of masks, the one who sees clearly is king. Watch, listen, learn, and never be fooled again.